like to reiterate what Einstein said.
Okay.
He said, if you can't explain to a 6-year-old girl, it means you don't understand.
Hey.
You don't understand.
So I'm just reading now, and my girlfriend calls me.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah, the day you stop learning, that's the same day you start dying.
Hello guys, it's yet another episode on Hybrid Studios, and this is the heated convo. On this episode, I have two wonderful gentlemen with me, and I would like them to introduce themselves before we begin. So I have here with me
Charles.
and also
Justice.
all right, so on this episode, it's more about academics, and we are going to talk about a very important topic students need to have an idea of. All right, so the topic here is the right way to learn. What at all is the right way to learn? So to jump right in, I would like to begin with Charles, what he feels about, is learning actually an easy thing? I'll begin with Charles.
No, not at all.
Learning is not an easy thing.
It's not easy at all.
Why? Why do you say so?
I mean, waking up at dawn each and every day, and maybe foregoing some of your preferences or your taste to, always learn. It's not easy. It really takes like someone who is a self-disciplined person to always like commit to learning, because it's never easy.
Wow.
It's not easy at all.
What about Justice?
All right. Personally, I would say that learning is not an easy thing.
Hmm.
Why do I say learning is not an easy thing? Learning is not an easy thing because as human beings, we have the characteristics of forgetfulness.
Sure.
Forgetfulness. And the problem of learning comes from that aspect, because as human beings, we are prone to forgetfulness. And we learn today, you try to memorize, and learning is not only about learning and reading and understanding. It goes beyond reading to incorporate assimilation and retention.
Sure.
So if you learn and tomorrow you forget, you are not able to retain, you have to go back and learn again. And that is the difficulty in learning.
All right.
I would say learning is not an easy.
Okay. So from the background, we've laid the emphasis that learning is actually not an easy task, and I'm sure a lot of students can attest to that. So with my second question, personally as students, I would like to ask, do you learn from the class or you learn personally by yourself, Charles?
Okay, so me personally, I do more of what the learning myself.
Okay.
Yeah, when I'm in class, I can only do 30% of it. But yeah, the majority of the assignment lies on me to always digest whatever I'm taught.
All right.
On my own.
Okay. Because we have students who naturally they are very good. They learn from class and they don't have to even put effort in going to their private and learn. Once they grasp it from the board, that's it. What about Justice?
Sure. So that is why I initially stated that personally, because some people learning might be easy for them. But personally, I would say that it's a blend of the two.
Oh, okay.
And as my brother said, it's like you do 30% in the class, because it's not everything that is said in the class that you can retain instantly, and then that is all. You have to go back and then revisit your notes and do majority of the task.
Excellent. So also I'd like to ask personally, what are some battles or challenges you've encountered in your academic journey so far in terms of academics, Charles?
Okay, so one challenge that I've encountered, through my academic year, was that sometimes, or like years before, whenever I learn and there is an exams before me, immediately I see the questions, and it wouldn't be that I don't know the questions. I will know the questions, or I will know the answers to the questions. But immediately I see that no, all that I learned are before me, or majority of them are what's shown up in the exams. Then I start to shake and all of that, or like, because I know the answers to it, I will end up failing that I wouldn't even like plan of.
Okay.
So it's like because I know the answers to it, I become very like I don't know,
Okay.
but
Anxious, anxiety, or
yeah, then I will end up failing
oh, okay.
the
So
exams.
it means there has been instances where a question is before you, you know it,
I know
but
the
you still
answers.
fail.
Yes.
How possible is that?
Sometimes I don't know, but it will be like since I know the answers to it, I don't know the this thing, but I'll realize that because I know the answers, I'll be rushing through the thing, then I'll end up failing
Wow.
the this
Wow.
thing. Yeah.
Okay. What about justice?
All right. So me, my problem, the challenge that I face is with learning
Oh, okay.
and retention. You know,
Hmm.
it gets very difficult when you learn and you want to remember what you've
It's not
learned.
easy.
It's not easy.
True.
It's not easy. And I believe this is a problem for every learner.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Retention is a very big
All
problem.
right. So with the challenge you face, like Charles per se, how have you been able to combat it?
Yes, I've been able to solve it.
How did you do it?
So I realized that if it's like most students when they go to an examination or and maybe most of the questions they know, yes, the way they used to tackle the question is different from if maybe they go there and they don't know the answers or maybe one or two of what they learned came.
Yeah.
You understand? So I sat down and I did an analysis and I said to myself that even if I know the questions, I will take my time to read through it carefully
Wow.
even before I start any question. And one thing about me is when I'm doing exams, I start with the easiest question.
Okay.
Yeah, so that even if that question is 1 mark, I'll start with that one first, so that it will boost down my confidence to
Alright.
do the rest. Because sometimes if you start with the difficult ones,
Yeah.
you will end up wasting time on that question and you still get it wrong, especially the calculation subjects.
Okay.
Yes.
What about justice? How were you able to solve your
All
problem?
right. So my retention problem, I dedicated myself to consistent learning. Yes, consistent learning. So I don't just learn and then the next day I will leave everything behind and then move on. I go back, revisit, and try to reflect on what I've learned. Then it has been of great help.
Oh, okay. Wow, interesting. So right now we are jumping right to the main reason for this podcast talk. Excuse me. So I would like to ask personally, what are your effective learning techniques a student should employ to have academic success? Charles.
Okay. So my it is three.
All right.
Yes. So me personally, whenever lectures closes, and maybe we have lectures during the day.
Okay.
When I go home, I make sure that whatever we did in class, I go through it again. Because sometimes going through it after lectures, it helps you to reflect what the lecturer was saying or said in class, and it helps me to understand the thing better. And afterwards, to the second thing I'll talk about is I prepare before time, before I go to class. And this helps me to, answer questions, contribute to the discussion, and moreover, ask maybe questions that I think I don't understand and I need clarification to that. And Saturdays too, so let me end on this.
All right. All right. Anyway, but is it an important point you want to add?
No,
Just
I think maybe as time goes on,
Alright.
I'll bring that
What
one.
about justice?
All right. So, as my brother said, there are a lot of them, but then I would like to talk on about like two of them.
Okay.
One is active learning. Yes, active learning. So I've realized that most people, when they sit down to learn, there are a lot of distractions around, especially with our phones and TikTok and other stuff.
Sure.
So with active learning, you go, you sit down effectively like 30 minutes. I study effectively and I take 5 minutes break. Then I go again 30 minutes, 5 minutes break. So if I have planned to study for like 2 hours, I do that for the 2 hours and I'm done. And at the end, you see that you've been able to grasp something.
Okay.
And the second thing I want to talk about is practice testing. So when after I've learned, I jot down or I write down some questions from what I learned and try to solve
Solve
them
it.
or explain
Wow.
it to someone.
Wow. Okay, what if this one goes to justice? Just a counter question. What if you plan that you are going to use 2 hours to learn a subject or a course, and within that 2 hours, you started, maybe you set a stopwatch to time yourself, and during the study, during that 2 hours, you had distractions, as in your phone was, you had messages which you had to call it, paid attention to, which took much of that 2 hours. Can you say after that 2 hours you have been fruitful in your learning?
No, because you have not been faithful actually, because you want to study for 2 hours and there were some distractions. So you have to go the extra mile and then do the time that the distractions took.
Okay.
But me personally, I don't believe in you setting time for yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, I go in with a target that I want to complete this.
So if it's 12 hours you used to achieve that target.
Yes. If I go in for I want to complete this, immediately my target is up.
But you know they say time
I'm
is
done.
money.
Yes, I know that, but I don't normally consider time when it comes to
This
studies.
is I would like to come in.
Okay.
Time is money, but at this very moment and this time of our life, the main thing we should focus on is learning academically.
Okay.
So, although other things matter,
Yeah.
but I
Sure.
side with my brother.
Okay, so is it true that you see, as a student, when you learn and you teach others, is it true that it helps you understand the topic more?
Yes,
Charles.
yes, it really helps.
How?
Yeah, because sometimes, like when you are taught in class, yeah, you get the knowledge. But if you get the knowledge and you're able to teach someone, then it makes you understand whatever you have learned. Because we have levels of learning. And the first level is you getting the knowledge. So the next level is what? The comprehension or understanding. And so whenever you teach someone what you have learned, it helps you to understand what you have learned. Because you can't teach what you don't understand.
Because sometimes there are cases where maybe you understand something, but how to make someone understand also, it's a big problem.
But I mean, I believe personally that if you understand something, you should be able to, explain it to someone for the person to understand.
So it means my inability to make someone understand that it means I don't understand the
Yes.
I would like to reiterate what Einstein said.
Okay.
He said, if you can't explain to a 6-year-old girl, it means you don't understand.
You don't understand. Even if you understand, you should be able to, explain it to the person.
Viewers, I hope you guys have followed it. A quote has been stated that if you are not able to make a 6-year-old child understand something, means you just don't get it.
No, you don't get it.
You don't get it. So
You go back and
I hope you guys will have this at in your heads or in your mind, so that you know how to apply it. So I don't know whether I asked you the same question I asked Charles, whether teaching helps you to understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Teaching helps you to understand. I would say that it helps retention.
All
Because
right.
once you are teaching a friend, you'll be able to remember it anytime you want to remember.
Okay.
Yes. And then also, as you are teaching your friend might ask you some questions. Which will boost
Exactly.
your ability or your willingness to go and look further, to learn further of what's true.
it makes what you have learned like practical.
Sure.
And practical things you can easily forget.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, so my next question is, you see, in this our era of technological advancement, what are some technological tools we can incorporate in our learning that can help us learn smartly? Charles.
Okay. So I'll mention two.
All right.
Yes, two on my list. So the first one is our almighty AI.
Oh, okay.
Yes, this AI is really,
But
really
to
helping
counter you,
us.
I've heard AI has made a lot of people very lazy. Like the people don't read. At first, before AI came into the conversation, if they give you a research work, you are going to search maybe how did this happen. You go on Google and search it, and you read everything in that scope. But right now, because of AI, people will just search, and once AI gives it to them, copy and paste.
Yeah, that one is there.
Okay.
But you know, everything has its bad side and the good
Exactly.
side.
Exactly.
But with this one, the good side is more. You understand? Now I'll talk about the good side because it has been really, really helpful to me.
Okay.
And because some questions, at first, if you don't understand, you need to take it to the lecture room for the lecturer to explain it to you. But now, with the right prompts to AI, it will what? Help you to understand whatever you want to understand, especially with the calculation subject, the difficult ones. And some of the AI tools are able to what? Break them down for you to understand.
All right.
And aside that, so I'll talk about YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, YouTube too has been a blessing to me. I mean, most of the courses that we offer, there are tutorials on YouTube that you can watch to enhance your learning.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll cite this example. This French that we did last semester.
Right.
Yes, I didn't know anything about French because
But you're giving the slides and the book and all those things.
bro, I didn't know anything about
The French is not reading.
French is a language, so
So I was finding it very difficult. So I had it in my mind that how am I going to pass this French that I've not learned before?
Sure.
So I went to YouTube, I started downloading a video or two, and anytime like it is French period or anytime I have my free period, I listen to it, I watch it and all of that.
Alright.
And God being so good, I was able to make A in French.
Wow.
So it has really, really helped
So
me.
YouTube was the main secret behind your French passing.
Exactly.
You have to pay your dues to YouTube.
okay,
what about-
I started to
What about
you collect it
just
before I go to the Alright.
what about justice?
Just as my brother said, AI. Yes,
Sure.
AI. People are misusing it,
Yeah.
abusing it, but it has the right side to it.
That will be a topic for one of our episodes coming
Alright.
on. Yeah.
Alright. Me, for instance, anytime I go to sit down to study, sometimes with the explanation of some concept, I give to AI and AI helps me and I understand it perfectly.
Wow.
Yes. And then also YouTube, as my brother said.
Oh, okay.
See, this semester I'm doing an accounting course. And
Yeah.
yes, YouTube
Charlie.
not fail because I have never studied accounting.
Imagine
This is my first
a general art student transitioning from general art in high school
Yes.
to business in tertiary school. The battle is
not
more-
serious.
you can't explain. So I get
So
it.
yes, so YouTube has been on fail.
Yeah. All right.
And then also I recommend this apps like Allison and then Coursera.
Okay.
Yes, they are apps that you can do some courses
All right.
there in relation to what you are doing.
All right.
To get some
Yes,
certifications
online courses.
to
Yes.
spice up your CV.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So this is wonderful. Like I'm sure a lot of people are encountering new knowledge out of the ideas you guys have shared. And should I say my last question? But I don't know. I might have counter question. Is what advice do you have for students? Like right now, students come to tertiary. I want to make the A's, but I don't know which study approach I should go by. What do I do to achieve this goal of A's?
Okay. So the first thing that I would tell the person is the person should know how to manage his or her time, because we are in an era where the distractions are too much. Sometimes you take your book to learn and you realize you end up watching videos on TikTok.
Imagine.
You understand? So the person should prioritize his time. Yes, because this institution, when you come to university like this, we all know that, or it is assumed that you are matured. Yeah, so that person should know how to manage his life and what is time.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you can't be in an institution where like you just wake up, you do anything that you want. You understand? You need to prioritize the things that you do. So one thing that I do that I think is very healthy and it is helping me each and every day. The things that I will do throughout the day, I don't just memorize it or say to myself that I will do this, I'll do that, I'll do that. But I write them on a sheet of paper. Even if it's 3 or 4, I put them down. Then I put them in my pocket.
Okay.
And so if this activity is executed, then I take that I'm done with this.
All right.
So at the end of the day, I'll realize that I've been able to exhaust all the activity.
Wow.
So they should really manage themselves when it comes to
But
time.
time management. Or I mean, you said since you are in tertiary, you are matured. Maturity comes with responsibilities. You understand? So maybe there are people here. It's not everybody here that are kids. Some people are people's fathers, people's mothers. There are distractions that can come. So how do you balance it?
Yeah, so with that one, you should set aside time for your studies. If maybe it is on your timetable that this particular from 7 to I think maybe 9, you have to study. You have to go follow the timetable.
Okay.
You shouldn't say maybe because of this or that. I am going to do that and I will do this the next time. No, you should stick to what you have planned and what you have for yourself.
I want to jump to justice, but I have to dwell here before, otherwise I might
I
forget.
like to help with this.
All right.
So with such person that you have other matters to deal with, you should study yourself and know your free periods.
All right.
So during those free periods, you fix your studies there, and I believe that will help.
Okay, Charles, let's say you are studying. This is my time. This time, maybe I'm studying maybe communication skills. I'm reading on communication skills this evening. So I'm just reading now, and my girlfriend calls me.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah, you know that this communication. You need to tell her your free periods or this time I've set aside to learn and all of that. So even if she calls and you don't pick up, she'll be like, oh, I'm sure maybe he's learning.
I know they are going to understand.
They will understand. You will call them back.
Why are you studying communication skills with your partner?
But even if maybe you don't pick up the call, even if you pick up, you speak to her that no, you are this, you are that. So you get back to her and she will understand.
Wow.
You understand? It happens to us like each and every day, but we're able to, put you. And one thing too that I want to put on air is every person has its productive time, like a time where when you learn it really sticks.
Okay.
Yes, so you need to find that time and dedicate like the difficult courses that you are treating to that time.
Okay.
Most people like get the best out of learning when they learn at dawn. Some people too, when they learn early in the morning, they get to understand things really well.
Exactly.
So find your productive time and dedicate some of the difficult questions.
Find your productive time.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay. What about justice? I don't know. Should I state the question again? Or
Oh, I have a
Okay.
question here. All right. So the advice I would like to give myself and all my colleagues.
Sure,
out
we
there-
are all students.
Yeah. All my colleagues out there is that first of all, you need to develop effective study habits.
All right.
Yes, develop an effective study habit. When you go to sit down to study effectively with all attention and then all distractions aside. And then secondly, I would like to talk about consistent learning.
Consistency.
You have to learn
Sure.
consistently. Like every single day, you have to dedicate some time to learning. Yes, 1 or 2. And lastly, I would like to talk about self-discipline. Yes, if you haven't disciplined yourself, there is no way you can learn to succeed
Wow.
in this way. Yes, so discipline is a very important.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
So with the consistent learning, yeah, the day you stop learning, that's the same day you start dying.
It's true because when I was in SHS, when we started, I was doing history. My history teacher once told me that if you don't read, you rust. So if you stop
Okay.
reading, you
Oh,
begin to
okay.
rust.
You have to
Wow.
always engage yourself
Wow.
with learning
Wow.
to make sure that you are equipped with what knowledge.
Wow. I hope students would subscribe to this and apply it in their academics, because you see, it's not easy to learn. As we discussed earlier, learning is a very difficult thing, but if you're able to follow a certain scope or a certain formula to learn, I'm sure your story is going to be different. You're not going to find learning as a difficult task. I want to thank you for your time, your attention, and everything, for watching and staying with us on this episode. This is the Heated Convo on Hybrid Studios. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for post notification. We'll catch you on the next episode. We're out.